officially yet, so whoops. How do I go back? Go back. Alright, we do usually have a subscriber on here who comes in, so if he does say something, I'm gonna say what he says in the chat, and you guys can comment on what he said.
Ah, okay, I see.
Alright, so did you send him the link, by the way? If not, I'll send
Who,
you
me?
guys a link right now. Let me just do it now. Give me a second. Oops. No! No! Okay, there we go.
Are you referring to your YouTube? Is that what you're
YouTube,
talking about the
yes.
link to?
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah, I
on.
found.
It's on now, so I'm about to start sending out links. So give me a second. Oh, turn down the volume. No feedback.
Yep.
Do it.
Got it.
Okay, so now we're being sent to Black Lobster. You. Oh shoot, I can only send to one person. Okay, here, fine. I'll just to you. Alright, did you get the link?
I'm on a YouTube channel.
Okay, then I have to send it to him. To Eisenhower.
I'm on the channel.
Oh, you're on it?
Yeah, we're all on it.
You're all there? Okay. So you see the first picture already, right?
Yep.
Okay. Alright, now the last thing for me to do is to put it on Twitter. Yay! So give me a second, and we'll start.
Where's the photo?
Help her, guys, help her! She needs help!
Oh. Got it.
Alright, give me a second, and it'll just be real quick. I gotta send up the link.
Oh, are we talking about the live podcast picture, or is it a different
We're
picture?
talking about the live
Yeah, it's
podcast picture.
yeah,
So
it's
that
a
each
live
picture that
podcast.
comes up, that's gonna be the topic that we're talking about, and then we'll go to the next picture. It should be a total of 11 to 12 pictures. Give me a second.
Oh.
Turn down the feedback!
Oh my god.
Alright, I think that did it.
There's people eating the hottest chili peppers. Yeah, crazy.
Chili peppers? Really?
Yeah, they're crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going up by Scoreville levels.
Mm-hmm. Chili peppers. Okay. Alright, links out. Alright. Let me just go back to the channel now because I cannot see the chat. Okay. I'm ready. Alright, is everybody ready?
Okay.
Yeah, I'm
Hello?
ready.
You guys ready? Eisenhower,
I'm
you
good.
ready? Alright, good. Alright, welcome back, guys. The live podcast of season 7, episode 6. And we have one heck of a roller coaster ride today with this week's episode. So let's get right into it. Oh, we do have a new member, by the way. We have here Blitz. 2 new members, actually.
Hey.
Blitz, how you doing?
Hey, hello.
Yeah, Blitz Mike tends to fart a lot. He likes long walks at the beach and farts a lot. And Eisenhower. We have Eisenhower. We just met you. What's up? How you doing today?
I'm awesome. How are you guys?
We're doing just fine. Or I'm doing just
Great.
fine. I don't know how these guys are doing. These guys. Yeah, yeah, I can speak for them. Okay, so anyway, so yeah, all right, so we're gonna get right into this episode. I think I kind of want to talk about the trailer first before we get into. Maybe should we just keep going or should we talk about the trailer first for the next episode?
Mm, want to say that for last?
Did everybody see? Well, yeah, we can save it for last. It's just I don't have any pictures of the of the trailer, so that's
Not
why
the
I was
Oh,
best
like, oh, do you
memory.
want to talk about it now? We don't have to.
uh, there wasn't much
Well, I mean,
to
yeah, there wasn't
photo
much. It's
probably.
just
Yeah.
Cersei and Tyrion and Jon and stuff all in one place.
Getting the band
I'm
back
freaking
together.
out. I'm freaking out. Stuff's
Yeah.
happening. You know, this is the last
It
episode of the
looks like
season. We gotta wait 2 years.
John's gonna see Cersei. It looks like
Jon's gonna see
that's
Cersei, yeah. And
yeah.
stuff's gonna happen. Stuff's gonna happen. We don't know what the stuff is. I didn't see Daenerys though. That's one thing. She was just like, I ain't going. You guys got me
Please,
messed up.
we need to let someone die this next episode, please. One of the main
Yeah,
characters
yeah,
has to get
somebody
it.
does need to die, and it needs to be Cersei. That's who it needs to be.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. I
Well, I
didn't mean
felt
to
like
do
in
that.
the trailer, it seems like you have an episode of like setup and then an episode of action. And the only thing that worries me a little bit is it looks like this is an episode of setup, being the very last episode of the season.
It does kind of, well, you
Yeah.
don't really see that much action in the trailer, but you know, who knows? I don't know. But I mean, people have been complaining about action, 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 and I'm just like, well, can't have both. I mean, but you know, all right. So that's pretty much what we have to talk about there about the trailer. So if you guys want to see the trailer, do check it out. It is released, and you know, like I said, stuff's happening. Stuff's about to get real. But all right, so talking about this week's episode, season 7, episode 6. Do you guys remember the title? It's called Deaf something. Deaf. What was it called?
I could look it up.
I can't even remember the freaking title. Who cares about
Yeah,
the title? We just care about
numbers. Yeah,
numbers. Like a lot of stuff's
I
happening
missed
here.
that.
Obviously, you can see Jon Snow's running right. So I did see a picture of Mulan, like a meme of Mulan. Like remember they were running towards the Hun, or was it like the Mongolians or something like that? They were running towards him, and when they saw how many there were, they ran back. That's pretty much what this is. That's exactly what this is. I was like, yep, that explains this episode pretty much.
Yeah.
I was just like, that's pretty much they run in and then they run out. Just like,
Nope,
what'd
not
you expect was
today.
gonna happen? What'd you think? I mean, but yeah, so there's a lot of we have a lot of two side complaints here, not complaints, but like two sides here towards this episode. It was one of my favorite. I mean, definitely one of my favorite episodes because mostly the people's stances. So let's just start it here. Right here, we have first thing we see is Jon, you know, the new Suicide Squad. That's what you called it, Blitz, right? Suicide Squad. Going in.
Magnificent Seven.
You got Jorah, Jon, the Hound, dude with no eye or just one eye. The guy who's Robert Baratheon's son, can't remember his name, Gregory, and the dude that likes
Gendry.
Brienne, Gendry, right? And the dude that
Yeah,
likes Brienne,
Tona.
yeah,
Tormund.
Tommen, yeah, Tommen, that's his name. And
It's weird because, yeah, go ahead.
well, no, go ahead. That's pretty much all I have to say.
So you
Got the
you
Suicide
said you
Squad.
wanted the positives, right?
Yeah, well, let's do the positives first.
All right. I think I like how you guys were talking about like history and what happened, and I like how when Genji talked about the red woman, how
Oh
they
yeah,
were
when
like,
he
"What's
gets
wrong?"
solo.
She's like,
Yeah.
"Yeah." She's like, she tied me to a bed naked, and then he's like, "Okay, what's the problem?" It's like, wait,
Uh,
wait a minute.
what about you, Rock?
Yeah, that was actually kind of funny because they were like, well, you complained about like, I've died like 9 times or whatever.
Word.
Oh, you don't see him complaining about it. I was been like,
Yeah.
well, I mean, he has the ability to come back to life, so it's like,
Yeah.
what do you have to complain about? But I mean, like, all right, what about you, Eisenhower? What do you guys say?
I actually like Tommen. I think his humor is always
Tommen?
good in the show. Yeah,
Yeah.
and I love how he's just so after Brianna Tarth, and every time he
Oh
sees her,
man.
the look he
My
gives her.
God, I hate it. I don't like it. I mean, like he has a good point where they can make probably some good children and whatever warrior
Mhm.
children, but at the same time they could probably be really ugly.
You know,
Yeah,
I
like,
like it though
ugh.
because remember Brianne's story about how like she went to the ball and no dudes would dance with her,
He'd probably be
and
the
Oh
it
first
like,
one to
yeah.
show
you
up.
know,
Like, I'll
yeah,
dance with you.
this guy totally is like, you were some sexy fox. He is, and like she's never really been looked at like that
So she's
before.
just like, I ain't into this. What is this going on?
Mhm.
Like, you're staring at me and it's weird. Like the face she
Yeah.
does. I wish I took a picture of the face. He's like, looks at him like, uh-uh. Yeah.
I kind of want it to happen because it's like Brienne
I
would not know
don't.
what to do because
Mm,
she's never had anyone show her like any kind of interest before.
oh
Yeah.
my god, no. It just feels weird. Like I'm just not into warrior women just getting into the man's pants. I don't know. It's just some. I don't want women's pants either. I just want them to be warriors. I want them to be like
I like it though because
fighters.
he like totally like doesn't want her to change. He likes her like exactly how she is.
Yeah.
It's nice.
And I think his craziness really like the way he acts towards her and like the looks he gives. It just makes his character more
It's not
awesome.
even like a smile. I
Mhm.
don't think
Yeah.
he's just staring.
Mhm.
He's just like.
But when she was fighting, he's like, "You're a lucky man." When he's fighting Podrick.
I was
That
like,
was great.
I don't know about that. Alright, so let's see. Next picture. I don't even remember how the order of pictures I went here. Let's see. Ah, okay. This is the part I wanted to just discuss all of it. I put all of the little Sansa, Arya Stark pictures, all that in one mash. I don't even want to talk about this after this. So, okay, let me just go over it real quick. So, Arya Stark gets a note that she found from Littlefinger, which she thought she had the had the upper hand against Littlefinger, when really it's Littlefinger who has the upper hand on her. So basically, she finds a note that's talking about basically it was a note back in season 1, which I don't even remember her writing. It's just like, okay, I mean they could have easily just put that in there and be like, yeah, that's a note she wrote, right there. But so she reads it, and Arya Stark is I don't know, she's just getting on my freaking nerves. Both of them are. Like Sansa sends Brienne away. That's in the picture on the upper right. Yeah, I kind of cut Brienne's head off, but that's the picture on the upper right. And then on the bottom left, you see here Arya is behind Sansa. Sansa went and snuck in Arya's room, and she found different faces of men that she's taken in the past. Probably, I wonder if was that the face she picked up in that scene. I'm wondering if that's Walter Frey. I mean, like that would have been funny if it was Walter Frey. And then the
This
next scene. Well, hold on, give me a second. The next scene here, right there, is the middle picture, bottom middle picture is Arya picking up the knife, the dagger that she got from Bran, and it looks like she's about to stab Arya in the face. And I love Arya's face, that she's just like, "Come at me, bro," but also scared. Like she's just like, mm. Like she's trying to hold herself from screaming. It almost seems like. But this whole thing to me is stupid. It's just both of them dumb. Sansa sending Brienne away, dumb. Arya going and talking the way she is, it's just dumb. Dumb. Littlefinger in the background there, just being like, oh, Brienne. I don't even remember what he said about Brienne that made Arya, not Arya, Sansa want to send Brienne away. It just that doesn't make sense to me. But all right, so who wants to go first on this? How you feel about this scene?
Okay, so
Scenes.
first, the second face was totally the Frey that she pulled out, and I'm not sure if
Uh,
she recognized it or not.
Probably not.
But yeah, and the dagger thing, I'm just wondering, like, does that mean Sansa gets the dagger? Like, I don't know what
Oh,
happened with it after
she did give her the dagger. She just
Yeah,
like flipped it. She
that's
acted like she was gonna stab Sansa with it, and
yeah.
she's just like standing there like, what you gonna do? What you gonna do? Let's go. Like, come on, I'm ready. She just like, oh, whoop. Here you go. Here's your dagger. Bye. So like,
And the Brienne, yeah, the Brienne thing too. I'm wondering, like, what was the point of that? Because what Littlefinger told her was that Brienne would be a good like mediator. Like she would stop both of them if there was going to be a fight. Like she wouldn't pick a person. Like she wouldn't pick a side.
mm-hmm.
And I didn't understand why in the end she sent her away because I didn't think that's what Littlefinger said.
It doesn't make sense to me
Hmm.
either. I was just like, why?
I didn't get that at all.
It was just
Because,
like,
yeah,
what?
he was basically telling her, well, like, if you're worried she's gonna kill you, it won't happen if Brianne's here. So, like, so the answer's, like, send Brianne away then? That doesn't make any sense.
So if she wants to get killed, maybe.
Yeah.
She's like,
Yeah,
Arya could do
exactly.
it. What do you think? Blitz. Blitz. Blitz.
I kind of think I don't know what's going on in that storyline. Are they supposed to like out mental power the little figure, which is weird because they're little kids. He's been doing this his whole life. I don't understand how he's gonna lose to a couple of kids, other than by force maybe. But like the craftiness, the sneakiness, like him and Varys, like two of the people who do it for a living. So I
Mm-hmm.
just want to I want to see how the show is gonna make Littlefinger fail because right now,
I
like I don't
mean, it could
understand
only
how.
turn out to be like maybe what she said, what Arya said at the end, Arya Stark, before she left the room was talking about her skill. Like basically, I can be anybody who I want. Like I can. I wonder what it would feel like to be in your pretty dresses. That would have been like it would probably be a little weird since you don't wear dresses. But
Shit.
but she was talking about her skills. Now she can take somebody's face and manipulate their voice and all that stuff. And maybe that can come to maybe that informs Sansa in some way of what she can do. And maybe it can come down to Sansa asking Arya for a favor, or maybe to go against Littlefinger. I mean, who knows? I felt like that was a lot of information for her to take in
I want
at once.
I want to see if cause she walked in the room and she was like, "Look, I can kill you. I could put on your faces. I've been doing this for a long time. I could be
Put
you if
people in
I wanted to."
pies. I
And
make
she
good
has a knife.
pies.
Yeah, and she has her eyes, and I mean, she has a knife in her face, and then she turns it around, gives it to her, and walks out. I just want to
Mhm.
know what was the purpose of that speech?
I don't know. That's why I
I
said like
I
it
think
probably was to inform her. But go ahead.
it's their whole civil rivalry thing. I mean, from the beginning, they kind of have
Oh
always been
yeah,
like that.
they
Pick,
hate each
pick, pick,
other.
Oh,
pick, pick.
oh, come
Like
on, no, I'm not doing that. I'm not
that's
saying
what
that.
they that's what they do. They pick at each other, and like I feel like this is once again. But there's no daddy to say enough, you know.
Wait, are you comparing sibling rivalry? She said she was gonna take her face.
Yeah,
She essentially said she was gonna kill her.
I know, but you remember
Well, she didn't say
Arya?
she was
She
going
said
to. She said she could.
Arya
Yeah, like
always
that's
did
not
things
funny.
like that. Arya threw like food at her face at dinner. Like Arya's likes to like antagonize. Like that's her
Well,
personality.
yeah.
Hmm.
She likes to push Sansa's buttons.
What about you,
I
Isaac?
just
I think if the showrunners are going for that, I think they pushed it way too far. With because it was creepy to see her like talk to her own sister like that and actually say like I can kill you. You are like the worst child. I understand sibling rivalry, but that was on a whole nother level.
I
That's something you say to your enemy.
I don't know. My
I,
sisters have done that to me before.
Wait, go ahead,
I think
Oh
Eisenhower. Go
man.
ahead.
there's a few things going on here. I think the first thing with Littlefinger is obviously chaos is a ladder, right?
You're
So
right.
Mhm.
with Arya and Brienne and Sansa all together, he's not necessary. He can be sent away. So how can you prevent that from happening? Well, if you isolate Sansa, then you're going to be needed, which is exactly what he's trying to do. And if you notice, before Brienne was sent away, she was telling Sansa,
She's trying to
Littlefinger
look
is,
out for
is talking to all
Littlefinger.
these lords behind your back, and she's like, go away. She's Littlefinger's like positioning himself to be the only person that cares about Sansa in her mind. And I think that what Arya was doing was really kind of I could call like a warning shot. Like, I love you, you're my sister, but
But don't make me kill you.
I don't forget what you did. Yeah, and I will kill you. I mean, and I'm capable of doing this, and I think just showing her all those things and showing her the dagger, I think just letting her know that we're not a sibling rivalry anymore. I'm really going to kill these people on my list and don't get in my way.
Yeah, I
Yes,
think
and I
warning
like that
shot is
about the show.
a better idea. I think warning shot would have been a better term, because I don't think it was just like, oh, I'm going to kill you. Like I think it's just telling her that she can, and she doesn't mind doing it if she and taking your face, and she could be the Lady of Winterfell and take over. It just and even if she did, I mean, she is the last Stark, so if she killed her, I mean, what would be the point of taking her face? To be honest, but I don't know. It's just go
I
ahead.
like that craftiness from Littlefinger. I like that. I like that the idea that you just said. I just want to know if the showrunners are going to go with it, because if that happens, then
Chaos
what
is a
happens to
ladder.
Arya? Yeah, like if the chaos is a ladder, what happens to Arya? What happens to Sansa? Like this is the last season,
Well,
like
I'm still
starting
trying to
next
I
figure out what
year.
does that mean. Chaos is a ladder. Let's clarify that. So chaos is a ladder. Does that
So
it
mean like it starts from the
it
top?
means like the more things that happen, like it's a distraction, so you can move up. Like all the people are
Mm.
fighting, and it takes their eyes away from what the opportunities. So he sees that as a way to like, oh, they're not paying attention. I can I can move my status up. I can keep climbing.
Hmm.
that's yeah. I mean, that's what he did from the very, very, very beginning in the very, very first season. I mean, he poisoned the hand. I mean, he did that,
Wait, which
and
Yeah,
hand? Which hand?
the
John
original
Aaron.
John
John
Aaron.
Aaron.
John Aaron? Oh, is that like somebody
Yeah,
from like season one, which I probably don't remember?
Eliza's husband.
In
Yeah,
every bad situation where things go really wrong, he's always there to find an opportunity and move his way up. And that's exactly like Brienne cares about Sansa and will kill Littlefinger if because she doesn't like him clearly.
Nobody
Arya
likes him at this
wants to
point.
kill him. Yeah, even Sansa like
He's
Sansa
just
sees him.
using
I
her.
think as like a necessary evil.
Yeah,
yeah.
maybe.
Yeah,
The
that
devil you
must be
know.
why. Because I know she knows exactly what he's capable of, and I would almost think that she would have enough to know that he's probably playing them right now after seeing everything that she saw. But she's
Yeah,
keeping him
exactly.
around, so.
I think it's like
Well, because
because
he
I
can do
think about the
things that
people
others can't.
she yeah. I just see like thinking about the major people she's been with, like Joffrey, like people who like physically hit her, and Ramsay who raped her. Like those are the worst people, and she understands that like Littlefinger is worse, but he's not violent worse. He's more of like I'm gonna teach you, I'm gonna show you how I do these things, almost like a teacher. And I
But
do
I
think
think
like
no, we
chaos.
already got that from like she was trying to learn from she was taking notes from Cersei, basically.
Mhm.
Yeah, Cersei and Littlefinger definitely. And if
Mhm.
the
Because
chaos is a ladder,
Cersei.
I think
Mhm.
I, if I had like to make it like a interpretation, I would say like it go chaos is like how can you get to chaos, and like it's like the first step is like by causing paranoia, then people actually killing people, then how far can chaos go before it's like total like, oblivion.
Yeah,
Mhm.
well, if you think about it, he killed John Aaron, he started the whole thing because they all thought that Cersei and them did it. And so that's what started the whole thing. Is they started thinking, oh, okay, they plotted
I
this
think
whole
poison
thing.
is like the number one thing if you want to start something. Who did it? You
Mhm.
did.
Yeah,
I think it's you
Yeah.
because you know, nobody knows who what did it. So it's just like that's why
And
like what's the name?
and
Cersei blamed Tyrion until she found out, and she was like,
mhm.
"Wait, what?"
Mhm.
Like
And
I was
that
like,
was
"Okay."
Littlefinger too. I mean, he orchestrated that whole thing. He made that
Oh
possible with the
yeah,
Tyrell. So he's the one playing. He's puppeteering everybody basically.
but
I mean, that's
not
how he
Bran.
ended up.
He's not doing it to Bran though. Bran
He
knows.
got Eliza to be on board with killing her husband because like he
yeah.
told her he loved her, and then he married her and then threw her down the moon door, and then he got the Knights of the Vale. So he's slowly rising.
I
Yeah,
mean,
and I
but
think
the only
too,
thing
there's
Bran
like
is though. Oh, go ahead.
I say, and it could really go either way too. There's something when you're talking about like who's going to die out of this whole trifecta of chaos that's happening here, right? So Arya, with what she's doing, she's kind of using the faceless god power inappropriately, like for her own
Mhm.
will,
Yeah.
and
Mhm.
that could get her killed
Mhm.
I
just in
was a
what
little
she's
confused
doing.
on how she did it the first time when she blinded herself. Did they do something? I was like, is Arya? Yeah. I was wondering when it was so close to her face. I was wondering if Sansa was gonna try and put it on. Like, okay, a little closer, like the mask, where she was just going. That's what I thought she was
Mhm.
gonna do. But okay, so let's move on from this because we talked about it a lot. This is just a scene, or the scenes that just really it was just kind of like you guys are both stupid. I want John to come back and just be like, you guys need to stop right now because it's ridiculous. Like slap them both in
But
the face.
do you think the red lady will come back probably this next episode, or will it be
I
like the
don't think
next
she'll come back
season?
this next episode. I think it'll be next season.
Because I know she gave Sansa that thing when she touched her face. She said she saw a lot of eyes in her, and that they'd meet again. So I'm waiting for that to happen,
Oh
but
yeah,
probably
I do
probably
remember
won't be
that.
till
You
the
know,
next
and
season.
there's another thing I forgot to mention. We are missing a character of the whole Suicide Squad that we're talking about. You guys know the character we're missing, right?
Oh,
I'll give you a hint.
The
He's got a
Hound.
bow and arrow.
Oh.
No idea, do you? Because I completely forgot about him.
Theon?
He
No.
was in like season one, Arya Stark, and or no, season two, Arya Stark and the rest of her group at the beginning. They ran into them. Remember, he shot an arrow up in the sky, and he said if you don't move, that arrow's gonna hit
Yeah.
you. What happened to
Yeah.
him? He's not there anymore. That's
Yeah. I
somebody
don't
who's
know.
missing from this group, which I just completely forgot about. I was just like, wait,
I also
That's
noticed
right.
that
bow and
people
arrow.
were getting killed in their group that I didn't see in the group when the group started.
Oh yeah, I was just
Did you
like,
catch that
where
too?
the I was
Uh
like, who
huh.
felt? I was trying to figure out maybe I should pause and find out who the heck that was because I thought it was an important character the way John let him fall. But we'll get to that once we get to that part.
Yeah.
Because I
Yeah.
was
That's
like, who
Oh
the heck was
yeah, it
that?
was so many extras in this game. I
I was
was
like,
like,
who the
wait,
heck are you?
what?
Do we care about that guy? I need to go back. Like,
true. True.
all right. So this next
Yeah.
part here was a talk between Daenerys Targaryen and Tyrion. So Daenerys Targaryen, no, let's say Tyrion is trying to get Daenerys to be like, oh, I think he's in love with you, and be like, Daenerys is like, oh, I don't think he's in love with me. He's too small for me. And Tyrion looks at her like, too small for you? Like, what do you mean? And she's like, oh, I don't mean it. But the thing that made her mad was Tyrion trying to discuss like who's gonna take over if she dies, and she's getting like ticked again because she doesn't want to talk about her dying. She wants to talk about her succeeding. Like she's like, we'll talk about who's gonna succeed me when I succeed. And I was just like, well, I mean, you can't be mad at Tyrion for trying, but you can also be mad because you're thinking about somebody's death before they even get to the top. So I mean, but she's just to me it seems like he's going into the possibilities of what could happen, and this could also be a setup from the writers talking about, maybe she's trying to he's trying to pass the torch to Jon Snow, maybe in a way, because you know, he's around right now. So this could be a heads up for Jon Snow to take the lead if Daenerys goes down, which I said before in the last podcast. Like, what if Daenerys goes down? That makes Jon Snow the true heir to the throne, but he just doesn't know it yet. So, what do you guys think about this scene now? Hello.
I don't think that she fully trusts him like she says she does, but then the second he gives his opinion, she's act like he's, plotting against her.
Well, it wasn't like that before, though. It's just because she lost so much. With the Dawn and the Greyjoy ships. Like she just when the last time she listened to him, it didn't go her way. It didn't go her way at all. Like we ended up losing a bunch of people, and we don't even know like what's the name got back. What's the guy Reek? I'm just calling him Reek. Came back and he was gonna ask her to help get his sister back, and we don't even know if that's gonna happen. Like. Like you're just like, so we just skipping past that? Is it still next season? Like we don't even see her anymore. Like that was
I
it.
I thought of that too. I was like, what happened to him? He was
Like
waiting in the island.
yeah, he just like
What
he went
happened to
back.
Euron?
Oh yeah, like what the
Yeah,
heck
I'm
is
so
he
cool.
doing
What
right now?
happened?
Like he
Yeah.
just we can only imagine, right? Like I mean, like he said she would marry. I mean, I know Cersei's not gonna do it. He's not gonna marry him. Cersei's gonna be like, oh,
Yeah.
once the war's won, that's pretty much your time to die. That's really what I mean.
Hmm.
But that's the only ally she has, so maybe it won't. I don't know, but we'll see. But yeah, this scene right here. What is anybody else you want to give some thoughts towards the scene? Like why she was so angry, or do you agree with how she
I
felt?
just think I just think that Tyrion's just, she's upset because every time he says to wait, it just hasn't worked out. Like,
Yeah.
she lost her
Yeah.
ships and everything every time he said wait. So this last time, he said wait before she took off with her dragons. She was
We
like,
get to
I'm
that
not
scene. We'll get to
waiting.
that scene. We'll get to that.
Yeah, but she's like, I'm not waiting. So it was like a common thing. Like, she's tired of him saying like, hold restraint.
Oh, but
Think
this
about
case,
it.
she's talking about succession.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I also like the beginning too, and he's like, you need to think about things before you do things, and she's like, I do, and he's like, no, you kind of burn people alive, and
Oh,
probably
you
Mhm.
shouldn't have
seem
done
to have
that.
a temper. Yeah. He said that.
Yeah,
I
Yeah.
think he
you
said
might
that in
need
the
to
last
chill out on
episode or
that.
this episode. I can't remember. Was it
It
this
was
episode?
last.
Yeah.
Last episode, yeah.
Oh,
He's like, you have a temper. I didn't think
no,
that wasn't her
it's
being
probably both.
angry though. That was really just her making a choice. Like it wasn't. It didn't.
Well,
I didn't see any angriness in it. We've seen her angry. This is when she's angry, right here.
yeah. I think this whole conversation too might be kind of like the prompt from Varys earlier because the episode before he talked to Tyrion and told him like, I just, I thought I was, helping, and I sat back and watched all this bad stuff happen with,
Yeah.
her father.
And
So
he's
I
trying
think
to get
this is
into
just
it.
a,
Hmm.
yeah, I think this is just a conversation that's based off that conversation.
He's trying to. He's
Yeah,
trying
because
to
he
make
said
sure
you
he has
should have
something in
spared the
it.
son.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What I want to know is what if she becomes the queen of Westeros? What kind of government is gonna happen? Because you talk about not breaking the will, and I just
It's
want to
just
know
breaking the
is
will.
they're gonna try
She
to
just
push
wants to be
for
the
like a
only leader.
democratic. Say it again.
Well, I mean, with her breaking the will, she's just trying to make sure that there's nobody else to succeed. I think that's what I thought it meant. Like it's just supposed to be just her and her family, her bloodline. I don't breaking the will is just like it can't be Stark, Lannister, Greyjoys. It can't. It's just one will. That's why she's just mentioning all those names. Like they're all just spokes in a wheel. It's just like,
Yeah,
eh,
I understand that. I just want to know because and government once power is changed instead of like in United States because it's different. But when you
Mhm.
have like power change in government, there's a lot of chaos and a lot of destruction. So I just want
mhm.
to know if she doesn't plan on having an heir, how are they gonna go about like electing another
Well, they
queen
still
or
have the Iron
another
Bank.
representative?
It's the
I
Iron Bank
think
Yeah,
doesn't seem to be
exactly.
doing
Like
anything,
that's
but they're
like
just
what do they think
supporting
the
who they
government is
think
gonna
is.
be?
I think her trial, like the things she tried out during this time, how she like tried to rule and then she left and then it went to chaos. She realized that she can't be everywhere, but she can like put one leader that she trusts that will rule the way she wants to,
I'm
and
still
then
wondering
she
what
won't
happened to the
have to
second
keep
sons.
coming.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she won't have to keep coming back and like, whipping out the dragons and doing destruction. She wants to have like one ruler that she can collaborate with. So John would be a great one. She knows that he'll like
He'll take over the North.
do he'll do North the way she would want it run. So she feels confident with him, but she just needs to find a few others like that.
We
I think
still
And
need
that's
that's
how
gonna be
we still
hard.
need Dawn. We still don't even know what happened to Dawn. That's another thing. So she spoke with the people of Dawn. They agreed. I mean, there was people in the government that she had, and they just managed to get themselves killed. So it's just
Yeah.
like, I mean,
Yeah.
it's just who's next in line in Dawn. We don't know who that is yet. So maybe they might show it next season who would be the next person to be in charge. Same with the Tyrells. Tyrells, we already know who's in charge of that is Sam, and Sam is on the good
Mhm.
guys. So that's again a one
Yeah,
point for
that would be a great one.
Daenerys.
And I think
So
Oh,
too,
speaking of Sam, man.
Tyrion as well would be a great one.
Tyrion is a good
We
one.
Okay,
gotta
I
remember
just want
too.
to know
Yeah,
what happens when he
Jorah.
dies.
I think her
Like
most
what?
trusted person is really Jorah.
Yeah.
Jorah
Ooh,
doesn't have
I don't know about that.
anything though. Like he lost everybody. Most of his family, it seems like, is in the wall. Every time I hear something, he was a
Yeah,
great man. He served the wall. I'm like, so does he not have a house or?
Their,
Like,
Yeah.
where's the
their
house?
house is very small. Was it Lana, the little
yeah, the
girl?
little, the
Yeah,
little girl.
Liana.
Yeah. Yeah,
What little girl? Were you
that's
talking about the one with
basically
the
his
face?
house. No.
I don't know how good Jorah would be as a king, because he kind of the only reason he's next to Daenerys is because he views her as like a very beautiful woman. Like
Mhm.
I don't know whether
Yeah,
or
but she's
not
also a
like
good leader though.
yeah, she is a good leader, and I think he realizes that further on. But like I'm
Mhm.
thinking about his past, and he was arrested for slave trading. I don't know how good he would be as like a leader. I think he's a good fighter and a good warrior and a
Well, I
good
mean,
protector.
he's
But I don't know
changed
about
since
leading.
then. I mean, because we know before, I mean, nobody knew who Daenerys Targaryen was. I mean, and once you
Mhm.
saw her and what she can do, he changed his mind. But, the fact that, like last season, the season before, he was punished for what he did in the past, I was just like, really? Like, have you not
Mhm.
seen what you can do? I don't know if you can see what you can do, but I would have changed sides too. Like if I was fighting for the
Yeah,
Lannisters, I'd have been like, as soon as I seen you come out of the fire and three dragons, I would have been like, oh, I'm gonna go with her. Thank you. Like
yeah,
y'all can stay over there. I'm gonna be right here. But the fact that he got punished for just like, oh, what did you do in the past? So just like, why does it matter? Like, oh,
Yeah,
he
I
did
would
that. I'm
say
sorry. That's it.
he seems more rehabilitated. I maybe she wouldn't give him like a power position, but I feel like he is trustworthy at this point.
Yeah, I mean, we
yeah.
already know he saved her life a
Yeah.
dozen times. It doesn't. I mean, it's ridiculous. It was ridiculous to punish him in the first place. So it's just like dumb. But
Mhm.
I mean, I heard about something though in the books. That Joe is actually not. It was kind of. He was kind of rude, I guess, in a way. Like he felt like he deserved her, and that's why he sent her. She sent him away. And so that would have made more
Yeah.
sense if it was like that. I would have been like, oh, well then yeah, get him out of here. But in
I
this
want to know if
way,
they're
it's
gonna
just like no.
go. I want to know if they're gonna go with the because they made like Daenerys just kind of this like mad queen. Like she was burning a lot of people. She kind of had like a lot of destruction.
Oh
I
yeah,
just
that
want to
is
know
what
what they're
happened.
gonna. Yeah, like are they gonna stick with that or are they gonna change it? I don't
Well, I
know.
mean, it
It's
just
kind of hard to
depends
pinpoint.
because like we already her brother was already crazy, so we don't know if it's in her too. Like her brother was just like, I want a
Yeah,
crown. I'm just like, shut up already.
Mhm.
Just like
yeah,
you got your crown. There you go. Goodbye. But in this case, I mean, it's just like what it's a little weird when it comes down to talking about if she's crazy or not because when she spoke to Varys and he pledged it that he would be basically a good boy. She said, "If you betray me, I'll burn you alive." I'm like, okay, you don't need to say all that, but
yeah. Like I don't
uh,
understand what she
like you could just
thinks.
say, "Okay,
I don't
thank you, don't
understand.
betray me." That's it.
Yeah.
Like you don't have to be like, "If you betray me, I'll burn you alive." And she was smiling while doing. It. I'm
Yeah,
like,
I feel like the show is just doing it
okay.
I give
when it
her
needs to.
I give her the benefit of the doubt. I think that she's just like trying certain things out, seeing what
Yeah,
works.
she hasn't tried anything else but burning to be done.
Uh,
Like
Well, if you
she
think
I
haven't
about it,
tried
that
putting
was
him in
after that
chains.
conversation with the Tyrell lady.
Ah, well
She's like,
maybe.
"Go be a dragon. Go, go be
mhm.
tough." So now she's like, "Okay, well, I'm gonna go be tough."
Mhm.
I mean
Yeah.
that's like the last thing that the Tyrell did was just like stick that knife in her and be like, be mean. Like okay.
Right.
All right, next picture here. So let's keep it moving before we end up going into a 2 hour stream. All right, so this part. So let's just skim through these pictures here. We already know what happens here. It's just what's the name dies. Oh, so I don't really show. So basically, they get attacked by a dead bear. Where the heck this bear came from, I don't know.
I
I mean,
don't
like
even
I'm
know.
just like, so you're following some footprints and it led you to a bear. Apparently, the bear stays away from everybody else. Because I thought while they were being attacked, I thought they were about to be jumped. And I was like, so where's everybody else? Nobody? Oh, okay, whatever. I mean, did the bear just go ahead of everybody else and just attack him? So basically, what's the name? Does anybody remember this dude's name? The priest, whatever his name is? Do we just call him the priest?
Thoros in
Thoros?
there.
I'm surprised you remember
Yeah.
that. Thoros. So he got attacked and he seemed to be okay. And then what? He froze to death. I mean, so basically, okay. So he's
Yeah.
okay. For the first few hours. So once he gets back up and they basically burn his flesh to try and keep the blood from rushing out, and that's the same usual medical technique they use in almost every medieval time show. Then they run into a pack of White Walkers on their own with a leader, one of these White Walker leaders, and I'm just like, I still don't see everybody else. Like, like you see a bear, then you see this group. Was that bear with this group? Like, what
Was
happened
he
here?
scouting?
Like, what the heck is going on here? So basically, they go in, they kill, or was it Jon Snow that killed the White Walker leader with the Valyrian steel? I was like, yeah, well, two more to go. I was like, okay, so all right, good. They managed to grab it somehow. Um, then it manages to scream. Now, can a White Walker scream? Still is, whatever. It's the White Walker apparently has his vocal cord still.
Yeah.
So it's like
Yeah.
like I was just like, okay. I would have been shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up. So they end up that one White Walker ended up calling a mass horde towards them. They end up making a run for it, and then they get surrounded. So basically what they like on thin ice, and then they go in the middle of the thin ice on the like on these rocks in the middle, and they start falling. The other White Walkers that are surrounding them start falling through. So then they stop. They all just stop. And I was just like, oh, thank God. Because the way they were going by like the hundreds, it seemed. They kept going, going. I thought they were going to keep going until the ice broke all the way until it got to them. I was just like, y'all not going to be able to jump that far. I really hope not. But eventually they stopped, and so now they're in the middle here. So this part right here, I was still like, I was kind of like twirling in my seat, like trying to like, oh, are they going to make it? Like, I'm like, who's going to die? This is it. This is it. This is it. So basically, we already know. So what's the name freezes to death in the night. So I mean, for him to go like that, I was just like, really? Like,
Probably
what
the
is
only realistic death in the whole show.
for
Like
him
he
to
dies
freeze to
from,
death though? But like,
yeah.
why didn't they all huddle up and get into a huge giant circle and hug or something? I like, you sleep over here, you sleep over here. We'll all separate from each other and just wear these giant trench coats and hope we'll be okay. I was just like, no, get in a hug, bear hug. Come on, make a tent, do something. But then they couldn't
Yeah.
do any of that. But so that sucked for him. But what do you guys think about this so far? What was your thoughts when you were seeing this? Your reactions?
I thought it was funny how the hound that got so angry, he was like
But we get
fucking
to that.
cut, and
We'll
then he
get
just
that. We'll get to
he
that.
just.
That's in the next one.
I thought we were talking about that.
Oh no no
Oh
no! This
no,
is the
we're
part
talking
where they
about.
get surrounded.
Oh, when they get surrounded. Okay. Not really much to say. I thought it was smart that the White Walker stopped, but a little too
Yeah.
convenient.
Well, I mean,
I
dude,
I
know.
think that was by design. I
yeah.
think that the water doesn't stop the White Walkers. They could have just kept going, but I think that the Night King. I don't think he was there yet, and I think he wanted them surrounded. And it was
Yeah.
also kind of strange that they seemed to care about that one that was tied up. Did you catch that?
Which
Yeah.
one? Oh wait, what did they do
The
to him?
white. They wanted like the other whites wanted that one to be free. Like they
Really?
kept trying to reach for it and untie it. Did you if you really
Yeah.
paid
I didn't see it.
They were trying to get him, and they kept on cutting off their heads to try
Maybe
to stop
it's
him.
just because it's a little confusing. Like if the White Walkers are connected to the leaders of the White Walkers, because I think the leaders are smart enough. Like the leaders are definitely smart, but it's the White Walker randoms that are just like, like even when playing the Telltale game, you could see some of I don't know if they were White Walkers. I don't know what the heck they are, but in the Telltale game, there was this one person who was leading like a pack of dead men. They weren't all dead. It's a little confusing on what they were, but she was leading them and telling them what to do. Like, and when she would say stop, they would stop. When she would say go, they would go. When she would say kill or spread out, they would kill and spread out and all that stuff. So I'm wondering if that's what happened here, because that was in the Telltale game. So that's why I was just like, oh, maybe these guys are being controlled by him. That's what immediately led me to at least.
Well,
Uh,
when the hound woke up and he was mad and he kicked that one and it like let out like a grunt,
oh,
half of
Mhm.
the other ones let out a grunt too.
Mhm.
Whoa,
Yeah.
that was kind of I don't know. That's an interesting find there. I never really noticed. I mean, it's just like, oh, don't you dare kick him. That's my homie.
Yeah, it was like
Don't
they
you
were.
do?
But if you watch when they actually attack, if you watch it again, you'll see them trying to release that white that was captured. You'll see him try to go for it like four times.
I have to look at it again. I was paying attention to like the dragons, but we'll get to that. I was just like, what's gonna happen? What's gonna happen? Like I don't care. Just like you can hardly see the white, but you can see. Okay, so there's the Night King looking like a beast. I mean, this dude is a king. I'm not gonna lie. I don't like him. Oh, I thought there was only three. Shoot, there's like one, two, three, four, five. There's like five of them. Shoot, I thought there was only like three.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, there's five of these guys. Shoot.
Like the almost like the Four Horsemen of Apocalypse kind of.
Oh, and you also notice what I forgot to mention is that when they killed one of the Night Kings or whatever Night Apprentices, uh, all of the White Walkers around them seemed to die. So
Yeah.
what people are like already predicting is like, oh, watch, they're just gonna kill the Night King and everybody's gonna die.
Yeah, but that one didn't, which was weird.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
must have
that
been
was
not
something that
controlled
was
by
kind
the
of weird.
by that one.
Yeah, that was
Or it was like
something
the
that was
Night
kind of
King
weird.
was watching and put him there,
Yeah, Minko. Hey, how you doing? Thank you for joining this stream. We're just almost finishing up here with the talking about the Night King. The next part that happens right here is the dragons. Daenerys gets them at. Oh, I completely forgot to talk about that. So Gendry, right, managed to, Jon Snow told him to run ahead, and go send a message to Daenerys. And now Daenerys got the message and is about to get on the dragon. We already talked about the time. We didn't talk about the time scope or the time. You know, how fast everything is going is a little confusing. So that's Blitz. That's something you
Right.
want to talk about.
Oh yes, this is a story of convenience. So, and I like in the HBO show they kind of hinted at it being day and night. So it's kind of like almost like a couple hours in between. But still, he reaches the wall. Then sends the Raven. The Raven gets to Daenerys. She comes back in a matter of hours. I mean, like the North is far, and even if you take the sea route, which I'm thinking they did, it had to take at least a day or
Oh, they
two
took a
for
sea
them to
route. Yeah, they took because they get to a boat at the end of this.
yeah, that's what I was about to say. Yeah, it took the sea route, but still, it would have took like at least a day. Because I'm looking at the maps, and like online, and it's kind of like I don't know, but for plot purposes, I understand. But for story wise, it kind of cancels my suspension of disbelief, basically.
Mm,
Yeah, where the priest guy, he had time to freeze to death, so that tells you enough of the lapse of time.
yeah.
Yeah,
Well, you can
But
tell
yeah,
that it
And they
was
ha-
like a night and then a day, like a day and a half
yeah.
basically.
yeah,
yeah,
because they hike. It's funny they hike for days to find him, and then the guy can get back in that period of time and get the Raven.
But it's the difference
And
because
then the
yeah.
they're
Raven gets
flying
there.
over mountains whereas they're walking. So I mean,
Yeah.
it's like if you had to take a plane somewhere, you would definitely get there faster than walking. So I
That's
mean,
the
that's
Yeah,
why I
biggest
can buy
definitely.
it a little.
the biggest loop is got to be getting the bird all the
The
way out
bird,
to the
yeah,
sunny
that's
country,
probably
because
the only thing.
Yeah,
that thing would take like weeks, so I don't quite get that, but
I guess
the
that
rest
is
of
the
it.
only flaw. But I mean, I can buy the dragons getting there because they're
Oh
freaking
yeah,
fast,
yeah.
man.
that too.
That I can
Yeah.
buy that.
The show used to actually, back in the past seasons, it gave you a better scope. Like when they traveled, that things took time. They used to
Yeah.
do that. Now everything is like very, very just instant.
Because
Like
it's
Mhm.
whenever
shortening the
the
episodes, yeah.
Dothraki horde, yeah, when they like she's in a meeting and next thing you know she's killing the Lannister army like way far away. It was just immediate, and the
Yeah.
Dothraki just rode over there at light speed like it was amazing.
And then it came back.
Mhm.
Right.
Oh man, this show of
Yeah.
time
Minko
travel.
said at least a day and a half. So I think at
Yeah,
least a day and a half for them. What was it for them to get there, or for a day and a half for
I
as
think
time passed?
I
I
think so.
not for the bird though. No way.
Not for the bird.
Not for the
The
bird.
bird. We don't know what kind of bird it was. Maybe it was a hawk or something. Mika said they left Eastwatch early morning, got attack in afternoon, evening. Genry arrive at midnight. So that's like
Yeah.
what 3 to 4 hours.
And
3 to 4 hours
they
each.
gave the bird. They gave
Oh
the
my god,
bird
you and the
like
bird.
12 hours. The
Oh
bird got
yeah, the
12
bird.
hours to get there.
And Gendry is fast. Gendry is fast.
Gendry, I mean, he was told not to stop, so he kept
Yeah,
going. He had
he's
to
like,
stop
don't
for a minute and
stop.
then kept going. I mean, like,
Yeah.
not they weren't running when they were on that path though. They were just walking. They were just fast walking. They weren't really running. Gendry was running,
Yeah.
so it's just like I don't know, maybe. But anyway, so in this case, so Tyrion is telling Daenerys once again not to go. Um, Daenerys is like, I listened to you once, and I'm not doing it again, or something like that. Like she basically listened to him once, and it was about. I'm guessing that's about the Dawn in the Greyjoy ships that she was talking about, where she listened to Tyrion and she lost everything. So in this
Yeah.
case, she was like, no. And I mean, I'm glad that she left. I am, because they wouldn't have made it. I mean, it's
Mhm.
just everything was going really bad for them. You can see it. I'm about to move to the next picture here. Okay, there we go. So you can see it. So basically here, oh, Miko said Danny received letter at after breakfast, got there in evening. That's
Yeah.
2 days. That's 2 days. I think that's day 2, isn't it?
Yeah.
Or no, Gendry arrived at midnight. Oh, and then she got the letter in the morning and then left and got there by the evening. But it's still daylight. I don't know, whatever.
No, it's a joke. I think it was it a joke or
I don't know.
was he serious?
I'm taking it seriously.
Oh,
Okay, I don't know. Okay, so
but
whatever. The
yeah.
hound gets bored and decides to throw some rocks and, you know.
You let
And
the whole team down.
yeah, I was like, really? I didn't understand what that meant at first because I was just like, okay, you threw a rock and why is everybody just like about to take out their swords? I don't get it. And I was like, oh. As soon as the White Walker starts walking on the ice, I was like, oh, man, the hound. How could you do that? So at first I didn't get it. I was like, what? What's with the rock? Why is everybody staring at the rock? What? Okay, rock. And then the walker, I was like, okay, I get it. So then everybody's about to die, it seems. We lose a couple extras. We don't know who the extra was that fell off the cliff, like we were talking about before. Like, yeah, I thought it was somebody important, so I was about to rewind, be like, who was that? Was it the guy with one
And
eye?
I could have, and I could have swore they were the only ones on that rock.
It
I didn't
looks
see
like
any
it. Like
extras.
who?
I
I'm looking
was
at this
like,
picture right now. Like, okay, I see
wait, hold on.
Jon Snow. Who's that? Like, is
Well,
that?
even in the beginning with the polar bear, like who was that person that got attacked when the polar
Oh,
bear
I
was
don't
running? And
know.
they
I
like
don't know
got mashed and they
either.
were gone.
I don't even
Like, thanks for
know.
your time. Here's your money. Goodbye. $60 earned on the fly. That would have been fine for me. Oh, I get eaten by a bear. I'll take it. $60. Woo. Good for me. Minko said if you
Yeah.
fly for 7 hours, how far can we go? If you fly for 6 to 7 hours, how
Um,
far can you get? Well, I mean, let's take the
I think,
dragons as an airplane. Let's think of that.
yeah.
You can get to China, can't you? Like from
I don't know
here.
about China. I think you get to California though in
I'm in
7 hours.
California. That's what I'm thinking. Like you can barely get halfway across the world, can't you?
You could get
You could
to,
almost get from New York to Europe. You could almost get there.
Oh, okay. Well, that's
yeah,
pretty far. I mean,
Because
if you
to
were on
fly from
that side.
California to the Midwest where I'm at, that takes like it was like a 3 hour straight
this is a
flight.
question
No,
for
two.
film
Yeah,
theory.
yeah.
For Matt Pat. I'm pretty sure he
Yeah.
would do all
Because
the
I was
math
Yeah.
for
say,
you.
yeah.
Send him a message. Say, hey, Matt Pat, can you like do a mathematical episode here where you can discuss how long it takes from get to this? Even though we already know it's still probably impossible. But here,
Yeah.
take it. We need this clarified immediately. But yeah, Matt
I
Pat,
could
I like that.
imagine I could imagine everyone just looking at like the hound like, bruh, what did you do?
We
Like
already
as soon
saw
as he
he
throws the
because they
rock.
didn't realize what it meant either. It seemed like they were just like, oh, the rock it's solid, and they were just like, okay. Because at first he hit the guy's jaw. I was like, good shot.
Yeah.
I was like, okay. I was trying to figure out what was you trying to antagonize him or trying to
Yeah,
get
he was
them to
just
jump?
frustrated. Like it's
Like
almost like you're going to die, but you don't know when, so you just kind of like
he's just
fighting
like,
it.
oh, rocks. I mean, like you threw it good the first time. Come on, man.
Well, that's
I
why
could
I
have.
realized that they
Yeah.
weren't that dumb because it's like he knew as soon as it hit on his own just to get on the ice. So I was like, they're not that dumb because he figured that out without anyone's,
I like the way
the
the White
mass,
Walker
like the
turned back,
leader.
though. The way the White
Yeah.
Walker turned back, and like as soon as he got hit by the rock, he was just like, "Okay, uh huh. You throwing rocks now? Mm-hmm. Okay, you guys ready? We're about to go and kill these." It's just like, yeah. All right. So then, the next thing that happens here, so they're getting surrounded. People are dying. Extras basically are dying. Invisible extras are
Extras
dying.
out of nowhere.
Extras out of nowhere are dying. And then Daenerys comes in with the two flaming dragons. I love this. That was like the coolest part. Where I mean, like it was cool the first time you saw them or Drogo burning stuff, but this part, I don't know, something about this part. The way he swerved his neck and moved from left to right, blowing fire. You see him. I was just like,
Yeah, that
dang.
was dope.
I was like, woo! Look at them. They all going down. They still going for it though. They're just like they must be dumb because they can't see that coming. I would have backed up. Like shoot. So Jon Snow's
Yeah.
offering her hand to Jon, and Jon doesn't want to get on. Apparently, I don't know. Like he's trying to back everybody else up, so he's trying to make sure everybody else gets on first. Which I was just like, oh, how Jon Snow of you.
Mhm.
Thank you, Jon Snow, for Jon Snowing everything. Everybody's getting on, and then you got this not the Mad King. You got the Night King getting the spear. First of all, where'd the spear come from? How did they know they were gonna need it? I mean, I can think they knew they were gonna need it. I think they knew that dragons existed. I'm pretty sure they knew. Cause the
Yeah.
spear, why else make it? I mean, they knew the
And they
dragons
also fight with
existed.
the spears too. It's
Yeah.
almost like a sword.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
they
maybe they
make
did.
them. They can make them really fast.
But what the heck are they
Yeah.
made out of? Is what
Just
I
out
mean,
of
like you
ice. They
toss it.
just
Go
they
ahead.
just take their hand and they freeze it themselves with their hands, I think.
Is it
Yeah,
is it
almost like
an
how
ice
Thor. So
sword though, or is it something in it? Is it
Yeah.
material?
I think it's some kind of magic because if you remember the at Hardhome, whenever he hits the guy's normal sword with his sword, it just like shatters the sword because it's so cold.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
See,
yeah,
it's got to be something different. But it didn't do it with the Valyrian sword though. The Valyrian sword, it was just like ching.
Right.
It was head to toe with it.
yeah,
So yeah, you're right. I forgot about that. That it did shatter a sword at one point, but it's strong
Mhm.
enough to take out a dragon as well. But it must be really light because I'm not buying that toss, man. That toss
Mhm.
was epic. This is kind of
Yeah, I
these
mean,
guys.
I like
oh,
how the dragons show up and the Night King, like, dude he just doesn't, there's no fear at all. I mean, the
Yeah,
guy's
he's
just,
just like,
yeah.
give me
got it.
my spear. I got this.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, hand me
I
my
got
beer,
this.
my
Give me my
spear.
spear. And I just love this though.
Oh
Even when the
man,
dragon's going down, Daenerys is just shocked. Like her face in this scene is just like, I
yeah,
just lost a dragon.
good acting on her
I
part.
just lost a dragon. I just lost a dragon. I would have been
But I
like,
think it was
I just
humbling to her too. I think she felt invincible up until this point.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
It's something that needed to happen, I think, because she said it later on that you have to. Well, we'll get to that part. Basically, you have to see it to believe it. This is it. I mean, like Siri, I would think if Siri were to see this, she would have been like, like, because honestly, I don't think that White Walker that they're bringing with them right now, I don't think that's gonna be enough. uh, Miko, you said you believe that he can resurrect the dead, but you can't believe in supernatural throws. Hey, I don't know. Like,
I like this guy.
it's a it was a toss that seemed a little far fetched. Like it didn't
Yeah,
even seem like he aimed. I don't know, man. It's just,
he should have aimed
it's,
for Danny and her dragon. I don't know why he aimed for the flying
I
one.
may
That is
it could be
easily.
he did it for a reason though. I mean, we don't know. Maybe he didn't want
Yeah,
I don't
I
them
mean,
to
know.
if you
die
look at the
yet.
end, I think he did it for a reason. Yeah.
Yeah, he could
I
be
don't. I
because he
don't know.
did
If you want to
because he
win
was
a
aiming at
war,
him for a reason, and then he turned. Like you saw it,
okay,
he was about to do it,
that's
and then he
wishful
turned.
thinking. But if say it was you and your enemy is sitting on her dragon, waiting for like one dude to, and you have a spear, like that's a sitting target versus a moving target.
I
I
think
mean,
it
I'm
was
not.
because the dragon was killing his kind, though. That
I
one in
did see, yeah,
particular
it was. You
was
could see that he's kind
was
of like
about to
going
set
around.
fire, and so he wanted to stop it. I think that was what that was about.
Minko
Maybe, but
said
then
he
Yeah,
was gonna show
he
off.
aims for Drogon later once he's already in the air. I think he just likes the sport of hitting
Well,
flying
Minko
dragons.
said he just liked to show off. Remember Hardhome? What happened in Hardhome? Did he
Oh
show off?
yeah, definitely Hardhome.
What happened in
Oh yeah, he
Hardhome?
raised his hand. He raised his
Yeah, he
Oh
hand.
did. He
yeah,
raised
I
his
love
hand and
that
brought him
part.
over.
I love
Well,
that
yeah, he
part.
because
Yeah,
antagonized John.
he was shocked that John, was able to kill one of the leaders and stuff.
he was like, "Come at me, bro."
Phenomenal nerds,
After
what's
that,
up?
John became like a big threat.
Phenomenal Nerds just joined. Oh my god, I can't talk. Phenomenal Nerds just joined. What's up? What's up? And he says
Hey,
not as good as episode 4.
oh my god, look back at
Now,
that one.
did you guys catch something too? I think there was like a precursor to having this. Everybody's been talking about, the wall and how they're going to get around this wall. And if you look at the opening credits, the sea was frozen interesting. This time the sea was not frozen.
Which sea? The one that took to
Mm.
get there?
So they talked about the White Walkers not being able to get past the wall, and if you go back to the season, the sea is frozen on both sides of the wall, where they can just walk across the sea instead of going to the wall.
I mean, but I don't think seas
It's
aren't really supposed to freeze like that, are they?
Well, if you've got a massive army of White Walkers, if you notice every time they show up, there's a massive, storm
Mhm.
that comes with them. And if you look in,
Yeah.
Ah.
there's always little hints in the credits. If you go back to like episode one, I think episode all the way through like four, the ocean is frozen up there, and it's not
Mhm.
in the other episodes. And he talked about when he saw in the fire the dead walking past, walking by, marching,
Mhm.
Mhm.
which could have been Eastwatch.
I mean, anything could be happening with this. It's just, I mean, like I said here, I don't. There has to be a reason that he didn't go for Drogon. Oh, I'm having interruptions on my YouTube, but don't worry. I'm hoping that nothing will happen. When the White Walkers finally going to show up. When the White Walkers
I think
finally going
that's
to show up?
probably next season, episode 2, when they
Alright.
finally show up to fight. I
Oh,
think
he's
so.
gonna melt the wall with the dragon. I don't think the. But what if the? Well, we'll get to that. We'll get to that. So either way, so let's see. Let's go to the next one. So the dragon's going down. Blood's coming down. Fire's like coming from the throat. Like you can see that it's not going to be a good landing for him. He just like crashes
Yeah.
and sinks into the icy waters there. And I thought that was
It's
it.
almost
That
like a
was it.
plane.
Yeah,
It's
like.
almost like a plane going down, like, yeah, I had that same thinking, like,
Like, I
and he's
would watch
gone.
somebody gonna make a meme of that, like, but yeah, that sucked. But this was another scene that I liked right here. Was
Yeah.
Jon Snow and the White Walker. The White Walker's just sitting there still. Like, Jon Snow is angry. Like, he's just like, you just killed a dragon. You just killed my woman's dragon. No, I'm kidding. But you just killed
Yeah.
Daenerys' dragon. And he's ticked about it because it was kind of his fault in a way. Sorry guys, I'm having internet issues right here. I'm like trying to get to the chat. Okay, there we go. He's kind of like it's kind of his fault, but at the same time, I mean, it had to happen. I mean, I don't. He feels bad about it, and I get it. But just this scene here with this is why I say the Night King is just the king. He's just a beast king. Like the way he stands there, you see the guy in the background getting the next spear. Like you better keep on walking. I'll throw the next one. It's just like Jon Snow backs up and he's just like, crap, run! like, like it's just like,
Yeah.
oh man, this dude, I hate him, but he's awesome. He just the way his personality is just like he doesn't say nothing. He's just everything is an expression, just like
I think John's
stares.
on a suicide mission. He is the suicide squad in this game. Like every time there's a battle, he accepts death and just charges into like a like inevitable, like his inevitable death. Because he did it when Battle of the Bastards. He did it against when the wildlings came over the wall. He just loves to die. Like he
Oh
loves
well, I
trying
mean,
to
he's not
die.
trying to. He's trying to help everybody. It's just, oh, Minka said Night
Yeah.
King gave that look. Do you see what I can do? Like, oh yeah, it's just like, yo, what's up? Let's go. Phenomenal Nerd said, guys, we all know how Game of Thrones is going to end with everyone dead. Well, I don't know. I'm rooting for a positive ending for this. Definitely. Like, I don't think this is gonna end like the Red Wedding, to be honest. But
Okay, Ramsey said it himself. He's like, if you think this is gonna end well, you haven't been watching. You haven't
what,
been paying
Ramsey?
attention. Yeah, he says it to Theon when he's torturing him.
Oh, really? That you know what? I want to make my quote of the day. I want to put that on a Game of Thrones quote. Like, if you think this is
Yeah.
gonna end well, you haven't been watching. Oh, that's perfect. But no, it's just this scene right here is like one of my favorite scenes where he's just staring him down. They're both staring each other down, and then he's like, "You better keep walking, man." That's just perfect. But what do you guys feel about this scene? You guys like this scene? I thought it was amazing.
I was angry about the whole dragon thing, so I could understand
You
John's.
could you
I
just
could
like jaw
understand.
dropped. I'm done. Turn off
Yeah.
TV.
I was like, first time I like yelled at the TV. Second time I was just like, And yeah, I totally understood John's like death stare at him because I felt the same way. I was even swearing at the White King.
Like, go screw yourself.
Yeah, I was
my
telling
God.
him just die because it just made me angry. So I totally felt for them.
Yeah, I
And
definitely. Mhm.
John's like pretty courageous. I think. I think he realized it doesn't matter if he dies. So he's giving it his all.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. It's just come down to that point to where it's just like, I think, like I said before, this is just, it has to happen. Like, somebody had to die. Even when I knew one of the dragons had to die, it just, people were hoping for Drogon. I mean, it wasn't hoping, but it probably would have been more of an impact or more of a Game of Thrones feeling just to see Drogon die, because we don't even know what that dragon's name is, to be honest. I don't even remember
Oh
what his
yeah, we
name
don't even know
is.
what.
Like, who's this
Yeah.
dragon again? Like, dragon, but who is he? Like, if it was Drogon, we'd have been like Drogon turned evil. Like, that's what it would have been, because we all know his name, and because we spent more time with him, and as we know, Game of Thrones likes to have us fall in love with the character and then kill him in front of us. That's just Game of Thrones. But the fact they didn't do it this time, thank God. But at the same time, who is this dragon? Let's see. So, phenomenal nerds, you said, imagine that one of uh, you mean Daenerys? Daenerys dragons go down and turns into a White Walker dragon. Minko, you said if you think it's gonna have a happy ending, you're not paying attention. And
Yep, that's the quote.
Phenomenal Nerd said White Walker dragon, guys, think about it. And then Minko, you said dragon. Oh, you're talking about Drogon. How do you say it? Regna and
Name of the
Regal.
huh? Regnar?
Regal.
Rogal?
Yeah,
of
Regal.
Viserion.
Almost like
Rhaegal.
Rhaegar.
Rhaegal.
Yeah.
Rhaegal. And then the
And
other one is
Viserion.
Viserion. Okay. Yeah, see, I'm never gonna remember those names
Which
unless
that's
they're
funny because
important.
she named it after the
Her
three men
brothers.
in her life.
Her
Yeah, her
brothers,
brothers
yeah,
and
and
her
they all died
husband.
though anyway. Except for Drogon.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Drogon is not a wait. Drogon is that's not
Drogo,
named
Khal
after
Drogo.
Khal Drogo, right? But that's not the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe
But
that's not lucky. Maybe that's a precursor. They're all gonna die.
like, yeah, this is it, man. They're all gonna die. I mean, but all right. So I think this is last two pictures here. So the next scene we get here is Jon Snow gets pushed into the ocean as he's trying to tell Daenerys to run, and I couldn't really get a good shot of being in the water, but basically he fell into a pond of water. Oh my God, that's kind of a bad picture. You can't even see it. Oh my God. Well, he fell into a pond of water, and he's being sunk down to the bottom by the White Walkers. Daenerys gets the feels. He's just like, "Oh my God, John!" But she doesn't say anything. You can
Convenience.
see it. You can see it in her face. Like, she's just like, "Oh my God, are you okay?" Like, and it
Yeah.
looks like she's thinking about going back. Like, but she turns around and see uh the Mad. Why do I keep calling him the Mad King? The Night King about to throw the next spear, and she's just like, "Let's go." And that dragon like takes off, dude. Like, that dragon almost, it looks like he almost fell, like with his foot slipped. You know what I'm talking about?
Mhm.
Yeah.
It just like, I was like, "Oh crap, don't fall, please." I was just like, "Okay, don't slip." Basically, Daenerys is off, and he throws the spear, but misses just ever so slightly. Like, dragon makes a slight turn, misses. I was just like, oh. But I knew it was gonna get hit, because that's not. We're not gonna play this game where, you're gonna get hit and you're not gonna get hit. It's either the dragon goes or he doesn't. Okay. I don't think any show does that to where like they get saved for a moment and then they die the next. Like, no. Uh, Phenomenal Nerdy says, so no opinion on White Walker Dragon. We'll get to that. And so Jon Snow is not dead though. I mean, it seems like this is what people think. This is another resurrection because he was under the water for so long and it's freezing, and it should be hypothermia. I don't know.
He should have died.
He should have died, but I don't think this was another resurrection. I think this was just another one of those time jumping instances or something. Maybe we're just like, I don't know.
This show should be called Game of Convenience because a lot of convenient things happen in this episode.
Well,
Like where did Benjen come from? Oh
he's
my
fire and
god.
ice though, so maybe he can handle a cold.
Well, it could be maybe, yeah, that could be, but it doesn't
No.
explain him almost drowning, though. But It could be like you said, like Daenerys doesn't get hurt by fire, and maybe it could be Jon Snow doesn't get hurt by ice. It could be
Yeah,
that could
that's what
be the issue,
I
but we don't know.
I kind
I
of
mean, but he
thought
was
that.
obviously cold when
He
he
was
was fighting.
cold.
He couldn't even lift his suit up, which was
He was
conveniently
shaking
placed
and everything.
outside the water. Yeah,
But
I don't
he's
like
not
when he
dead
came out
though.
the water. Which is that? Say it again.
Well, he's not dead though. It's just that's I mean it could be that that's the way because he is half Targaryen and half Stark. So it's just
Mhm.
it could really just it's possible. It's we don't know a lot about it yet. He doesn't even know about it yet. So that's
I
what we're
always
all
felt that
waiting to get to it.
yeah, cause his
Mm,
eyes turned blue, like really blue that time when they all stabbed him and stuff. So I wondered about that, like he was ice
Well, it
blue.
almost
I
seemed
was,
like he was gonna turn into a White Walker. Almost seemed.
but how many days went by and he never turned? I was thinking they're stupid
I
for
thought it was just
keeping him
one
up there
day, to
so
be honest.
long. Oh,
I
it
thought it was
felt
gonna
like
be
lots.
I thought it was maybe like 3 days or a week, but they still kept him. I don't know why they kept him alive, but
Yeah,
um.
yeah.
So
but
who's Jon Snow's
he
parents?
Jon Snow
That
is
was phenomenal. Phenomenal Nurse is
Lyanna.
asking who Jon Snow's parents are. Jon Snow's parents
Yeah.
are
Lyanna
Lyanna and the Targaryen, right? So
and Rhaegar.
Lyanna
Yeah.
Lyanna is Ned Stark's sister, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Rhaegar is Targaryen, and Targaryen
Yeah.
is uh, Daenerys Targaryen's brother. I don't know. This
Uncle
is
Yes.
or
all
something.
confusing family
Or
related
Yeah,
brother.
stuff.
that is. So Jon
Yeah.
Snow would be Daenerys'
Nephew.
nephew,
Yeah.
Oh my God,
It's
this
still
show.
weird. I
and
don't really. It's
he is
kind of
actually
I
the
have some
true
confused.
king based on the whole annulment thing, which was so infuriating to listen to.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Yes.
he would be the true king, but he doesn't know it. It's
He
just
He
doesn't
doesn't
know.
know it.
he doesn't know
I
it.
really
But
want to talk
he
about
wouldn't want
binging.
it anyway. He said it before. There's a lot of things he doesn't want that he gets anyway. Just like I don't want to be king. I don't
Yeah.
want to. You guys could whatever. All right, I'll
All
take
all he really ever wanted was not to be a bastard.
it. Well,
Yeah.
I guess so.
And
That's
he
He
all
just
he
just.
wanted to be
wanted.
accepted. That's why he
He
went to
wanted
over
it.
the
He
wall.
wanted to have a name, but I think that's about it.
I mean, he went to the wall voluntarily, where all the rapists and creepers go. So, I mean, he did want he wanted to make a name for himself, which is understandable. I mean, it's just like somebody going into the military, I guess. Just like you don't know what you're gonna do, so you join the military. It's just
Yeah.
like I guess one of those people.
Well,
Um,
Stannis tempted him. He was like, if you fight for me, I'll give you your name. And he was like, you're offering me everything I want, but I'm not gonna leave the Night's Watch. And then they ended up killing him anyway. So
this
Yeah.
is what
all
I'm
he ever
confused though
wanted
is I'm
was
confused
his
about though
name.
is who this guy is. The what do you say, Uncle Benjen? Who is
That's
he,
Uncle
by the way?
Oh yeah,
Benji.
that's
I remember
Benji.
him. I just
Yeah,
don't remember
Benji.
if he was alive or not. I
No,
can't
that's his
remember.
He's dead.
uncle.
That's his
Uncle
uncle,
Captain.
Benji.
but what happened to
He,
him this entire
okay, so
time?
season one, Uncle Benji left in a party to go, out, and I think something about the White Walkers. He never came back, so they all thought he was dead. Basically, Uncle Benji comes back in another scene
With
with
Bran.
Bran.
Yeah, I saw
Yeah,
that.
and he tells Bran what happened to him is that the White Walkers had got to him, but right before he turned, the tree folk like stabbed something into him that made him like stop turning. So he's half White Walker.
See, I was wondering
Mm.
why he was so pale.
Yeah,
I was just like, yeah, a little pale.
that's the only reason
So,
why he's been able to survive. He's not all the way dead yet.
so now with him getting, so basically he's also dead now. I mean, or if he's dead or he's fully White
Oh
Walker,
yeah,
I
he's
don't know.
gone.
He's
He's gone.
Yeah, he,
yeah, like
If he
so I'm
comes
just
back,
wondering
that's
like,
gonna be like the worst thing.
well, he could
If
come
he
back
comes
as a
back to
White
life.
Walker though. Like it's just he can come back as a
Yeah.
full White Walker. I don't. That's the thing. Like, I was a little mad because I wanted some more dialogue with him. I was just like, so where you been? What's your name? Where you from? Canada, possibly. No, I'm kidding. Um,
yeah.
so
I
it's
think
just I was hoping some more dialogue from him, to be honest.
I guess it would have slowed down the horse to have two on it, but that's sad because I kind of wanted more Uncle Benji.
I just wanted to know what the heck he was doing here. Like, how did you know we were gonna be here in this exact moment? But maybe because he's also in kind of a sense with the White Walkers, so who knows? Like White Walkers were where Hodor and Bran was, so he's there. White Walkers are here where Jon Snow is, so he's here. It's just he's probably just in. He was probably in some sort of connection with White Walkers in a way. So that's what we don't know enough. But that's what happens when you don't know enough. You can say whatever you want. But alright, so
I like
next
how he
scene.
comes out the water with his sword in front of
Oh,
him. Ben, oh man, game of convenience, man.
with his
Oh
sword.
yeah, I'm just. What really is gonna kill him is like a case of pneumonia.
Yeah, like
Oh my god. Alright, so next scene here. So Daenerys is still she's on the wall. They're about to leave. Jorah's like, it's time to go. Daenerys says a little bit longer. She wants to wait for Jon Snow. It was just so cute. I was just like, oh, she wants to wait for Jon Snow. Oh, Phenomenal Nerd says, okay, see you. Oh, I'll see you later, Phenomenal Nerds. Thank you so much for joining. It has been a pleasure. So anyway, the White Walkers, not White Walkers, saw the wall. Daenerys is waiting up on the wall, and says she'll wait a little bit longer, and that little bit longer turns out to be like 10 seconds. I thought she meant like 5 minutes or so, or like a little bit longer would have been like at least 5 minutes. But time jumping. So it's Edgar. Oh, sorry. Well, I'm just calling you by your channel. I'm sorry. Edmund. Sorry, Edmund. I'll see you later, Edmund. But then so basically, Jon Snow shows up, on a horse. He's completely unconscious. Apparently, is it possible to be completely unconscious on your horse and still have your horse get there? Is that possible?
I think
That
he was like
happens.
frozen to it. If you
Oh, I
they were
was wondering
moving
if
him.
that's possible. Like, if he can still,
Ow.
like, the horse can still. Well, I'm not. It's not about the horse still being able to move. I'm just, I guess, the horse going in the right direction. I suppose. Like, go straight. like, just okay. I'm sleeping. Like, I don't know. I guess that's the new way. But yeah. So basically, he gets there, and they start taking off his wet clothes and whatever. I'm kidding. You see all his stab wounds and whatever. And Daenerys is like, it seems like she's a little shocked because it shows that he actually saw, knew what what's his name? I can't remember his name. Davos. There we go. Davos was talking about when he said he would take a knife for his people, which he literally did, and this shows what he meant. But Daenerys stays, and Jon Snow finally comes up with consciousness, and Daenerys is staying right there next to his bedside. And they're talking about how she can't have any children. This is what confused me. What does she mean by they're the only children I ever have? What the heck is that supposed to mean? Like, they're the only children I ever have? What are you like?
Well, Tyrion said that too.
She's
He said that's
yeah,
why we were planning what was next because she cannot have children.
But
yeah,
why?
she's
Since when?
barren.
When did this happen?
In the with Khal Drogo when she made that pact with the witch lady, I think she like
Oh,
cursed her or something,
I
so
gotta go
she's
back and watch
barren.
that because I can't remember. I just remember. Uh, I don't remember. Yeah, I got. That's something I have to check. Shoot, that sucks. That
She told her it
sucks.
would come magic comes with a price or something like that.
She did say, okay, I remember that part, but I didn't think it would be her every single one of her children.
Yeah,
But
she told her until the sun sets in the west and something in the east, she won't have any kids, basically.
watch it happen. It's gonna happen.
So
Uh,
if that happens, then maybe she'll have kids.
Mari Mazdur said that to her. Is that the name of the witch?
Yeah.
Mari Mazdur. That sucks. I
Mhm.
was really hoping. I was rooting for that witch too during that time. I was like, she's been through so much. Give her a chance and offer her to screw everyone in the back. I was just like, really?
Mhm.
Like, okay, kill her. But anyway, so they have a moment here where they're talking about how Jon Snow would bend the knee, but he can't because he's like frozen, whatever. And then Daenerys said that we're gonna defeat the White Walkers and the Night King. You have my word. And they kind of make this little pact, and he getting all gushy and mushy and everything. I'm just like, oh my god, the feels. I like this scene. This is them getting to know each other. It is gonna be kind of a slap in the face once they do find out they're related. I really wish they weren't. I mean, they
I'm
don't.
the
I
only
mean,
one that
as
doesn't want this to
actors, I can
happen.
take it as actors. That's probably why the way I'm looking at it is because they're just actors. And that's
I
like
I
don't
don't
want
want
them
fucking.
this
to
to happen.
I don't want them
I
to
don't want
hook
this
up.
to happen. I don't want them either.
Yeah.
I just don't want it. And
Oh
he
yeah,
bent
it's
the
the
knee.
Targaryen
Oh, let's talk
trinity.
about it. He
He,
bent the knee. I
uh,
don't like that at all.
well, I mean, I think it's because she sacrificed pretty much one of her dragons to get there.
He sacrificed his life. I don't understand what's going on.
But the
He
dragons is
died
something
She
for the
completely
watch.
indifferent.
she
A
was
dragon.
moved. She was moved
Like
when he said that he would bend the knee and that she was a queen. So she liked that. It was like an ego boost.
yeah, it's a lot of ego boost for
That's why
Daenerys.
she took his hand. Mhm.
Everything just goes her way in the show. I don't understand why John had to bend the
It
knee for
doesn't
them to
always go
realize
her
that they need
way. It
to.
does not always go her way. She's gotten her push and shoves in this show several times. She said it in the
Since when?
beginning. She said it in the
Other than
beginning.
like,
She's been raped.
okay,
It's
that's
just
the beginning.
everything.
That's the beginning. But
But
after that,
she's
everything
had her
has.
buttons pushed. And that's what I mean.
I'm talking about as far as political, like as far as the only person that really opposed her was the I forgot the group's name, but
Son of the Harpy.
Harpies.
the Harpies, yeah.
Son of the
And
Harpies.
even then she got away like clear. She got away from it. Then you have
Mhm.
It was because of
Cersei,
the
and then
dragon.
it starts to go her way again. It's like in the show, she's like an infallible character.
Well, I
Where
mean,
if
what
it
do you
doesn't work
want
out
her?
right
You want her
now,
to lose, is what you're saying? I mean, who else do we root for then?
yes,
Everybody's losing. I mean, like, who else
I
do we root for? Everybody's lost something
the
already.
the thing is, you don't have to root for anybody, but it was a good show when nobody really won anything. Like
Mhm.
Rob
Except
won
for the
all
bad
his
guys.
battles, but still died at the end.
We already
Like
saw the
Tywin
bad
won the
guys take
war.
everything.
Hold on. I just gotta get this thought out for a second, and then
Okay.
I'll let
Okay.
you. I like in the show, Tywin won the war, but he ended up losing his children. Like
Mhm.
people lose stuff. Tyrion, like finally, like got free, but he had to kill his girlfriend. Like people win, but they lose more than they win. And I think
Mhm.
with Daenerys, she wins way more than she loses. I mean,
Mhm.
this dragon was like the closest thing to like a gut wrenching thing for her since I think
Mhm.
season 3.
No, she
I just
did
want to
lose
see
Khal
like,
Drogo. She lost her child. I mean, she's lost
I
too.
mean,
Okay. Yeah.
yeah,
She's
Yeah.
lost a
that's like
lot of.
season
That's what I
one,
mean. That's what I mean by she's been through stuff too. Like it's not like
but that was
Okay.
like the
she's been
first season.
completely clear free. She didn't have
Mhm.
anything when she started. I didn't even care
That's
about her
right.
character when she started. It was
I
like,
guess
oh,
that's
she's getting
right. Yeah.
raped.
Yes. That's a valid
She
point. Cause.
lost. She lost Jorah. Like she was super close to him, and he got grayscale, and
Yeah,
Mhm.
like
and she cared about him.
Yeah, she really
She's
liked
been through a
Jorah.
lot too. It's not. She hasn't been going through all
Yeah.
sunshines and memories through all those.
I'm
And
just
now
saying.
even with
I'm
this
not saying
dragon.
that she has. I'm just saying compared to other characters, she is winning. Like anything that she really wants to go her way, it just goes. When she got captured by the Dothraki, they didn't kill her. They didn't skin her. They didn't cut her hair. They just let her be,
It's
and then
because of
she
her
killed all of
personality. It's
them.
because of who she is. I mean, that's just how she handles things.
yeah, because she was the queen.
And she was acting like
I'm
it.
talking about no. I'm talking about when she got captured by the Khalasar.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about. That how she was acting and what she said to them. It made them back off of it because she was the wife of Khal Drogo, and that made her a widow, and that gave her some other things that allowed her to step in front of what other people would have probably been completely screwed with. Like
I
No,
think I know
I
why it
understand
seems
that.
like she wins. It seems like she wins because she's actually going out and doing things, whereas like Cersei's just sitting in one spot. But if you think about it, Cersei actually hasn't had much happen to her other than her kids die.
yeah,
Dude, that's a lot. Wait, that's a wait.
But
Talk
but
about.
but so
but
That's a lot of
has
stuff.
Daenerys's dragons are her kids too. Now she's had one die, and then like she's barren, and like you said, all those other things. But what you're seeing is as Daenerys is going out and doing all these battles, so you're thinking it's so not likely she should have something bad happen to her, but she has. But
I don't
if you
think you
think,
should compare Cersei to Dany.
but Cersei has done
Cersei's
these
been through a lot.
crazy things, but if you think about it,
hardly
she's
anything
actually
ever happens to
won.
Cersei.
Yeah,
Wait,
nothing. She's not
what?
been raped. Cersei has not been raped.
She's just
Yeah, well,
acting
yes,
like
she
a queen
has.
also because she is. Both
Who raped
She's like,
Daenerys
Cersei?
and Cersei are just both queens.
Oh, you
Jamie
mean
raped
Jamie?
Cersei. Yeah, that was
I
if
I
you
don't
go by
know.
the show
I
is
Okay.
don't think
rape.
that
I
was
don't
a
know about the
rape.
books. The
That
books
was
is
no
kind of
That
like
fucking
was
rape.
consensual
that
rush. No,
scene
but
was iffy to
That was
me.
not
I
a
yeah,
couldn't
rape. That
say
was
it
not a
was.
rape. She wanted
I
it.
couldn't say it was or wasn't. I really couldn't at that point
She
because
okay,
wanted
let's
it.
Cersei.
break it down. So Cersei has gone through a lot. I think way more than Daenerys. I think her kids dying, her being paraded through the street naked, her hair being chopped off, another queen usurping the throne, faith for the militant. My bad, the militant of the faith capturing her and her kids and telling them what they can and cannot do. I mean, if you think about political wise, Cersei has not gotten her way in a long time. That's
But
why when
she
she
set
finally,
all
that's
that
why when
up
she,
herself. All
Yeah, that
that
was
was
yeah,
her
all
that's
her
what,
setup.
fault though. That was all her
It
bad
never,
decisions.
nothing would have happened to her if she hadn't been stupid. She set all that up for herself. That's all
are you
her doing.
saying? Are you saying that Daenerys has been acting more smarter? Because I
Yeah,
can definitely
Yes.
argue against that.
Daenerys has like battles and stuff, whereas Cersei's created all these dilemmas, and her children are dying because of the stupid things she does.
She doesn't leave stuff
Well, we
alone.
can.
It's her fault that the things happen to her. Like, Daenerys doesn't make stupid decisions like that. It's just
Oh, yes,
everybody
she
has their own
does.
person. Daenerys has their own way of. Everybody has their own way of doing things, and if it
I
Like,
think
if it hits
Daenerys
them
has done a
negatively,
lot.
that's their
That
fault. I mean, that's how life goes.
imagine
Also,
imagine if you go to like a country where they have a certain policy that is their culture, that's how they thrive, and you come in, you throw away the leaders and you cast them aside, and you reconstruct the whole government, but you still keep the people that were there, and they're going to end up turning on you. It's
that's
like
exactly what
Daenerys,
happened.
exactly. So she hasn't been like this smart person. She's actually been very very dumb. Like
but do
she
you think
What?
Cersei would have known to do any of the things that Daenerys did? I don't
I'm
think
not
so.
comparing. I didn't say. I said we shouldn't compare the two because if you compare it, like Cersei stacks way higher than Dany on like mess ups and like
I
been through
just
some stuff.
I just think that like with the way their system worked is there's never been any other way of doing things. So how we build a government is always trial and error till you get something that works. So
At
I
least in
wouldn't
this
knock it.
universe.
I
Yeah,
It's
completely
not like
agree.
today. It's not like today. So it's just you can't
yeah.
compare what it's
I
like
agree,
today.
but
Then
I think Daenerys instead of like kind of staying there and trying to figure it out, she just leaves. Like that's why the
Yeah.
cities that she took like ended up going back to their old system because she doesn't really
but she ended
care.
up fixing her mistake later, though.
she knows exactly how it's going to work now, which is what I said before, is that that was exactly a trial and error. She thought that like she left it with like the right people and it went, it was corrupt. As soon as she left, they started doing things
And then
again.
that's why she mentioned like, how can I do it here if I can't if I
Mhm.
can't do it across seas? Like like I have to do
Which
it
was a
here first and then go to Westeros, and then she'll be
Mhm.
ready.
Yeah, and then she ended up leaving that, and then ended up leaving the other countries that she took over. They're in slavery now, and she just left it and went to
Or
Westeros.
she already fixed it. I thought she fixed
She
it before she
She
left.
left the second sons there in charge, and we don't know what's
Yeah,
happening
she
with them right
fixed it.
now.
I think it's
oh
fixed, but
you talk about Marine. I'm talking about Yunkai and Astapor. Those two cities are still under slavery. Like she
uh,
didn't she came in, conquered, left, and
I don't
then they
know.
got rebuilt.
she yeah,
I'm
I don't think about that.
yeah. I'm just
she
saying when it comes to like political, I think Daenerys is kind of really she doesn't
I
know what she's doing,
well,
and that's why she needs a counsel.
I thought that it was smart though, because if she'd have just went straight for where Cersei was and started to like, now I'm gonna rule, she wouldn't know anything that she knows now. So she knows exactly how to set it up. So if she does that now, she can go right back and set it all up the proper way. Whereas nobody knows at this point how to make it work except for her now.
You think she
All right,
does?
all right, all right, all right.
I
I don't
think
see
she does.
I don't see any evidence
Final
of it.
thoughts,
She
guys.
doesn't listen.
Final thoughts on everything that's just happened. Because I think this is. Oh wait, no, there is still one more image after this that we have to discuss. So,
Oh, okay, go ahead. We
all
can
right,
discuss it afterward.
all right. So the next image here is the last scene, is with the dragon. Everybody knows. So here's the thing I want to discuss right here. Where the heck did they get that long chains from? Those braids.
Oh
Where
man,
did they get that from?
convenience.
The like, okay, let's get and know exactly what to put is. It is. Those are
I
some
cannot tell you.
conveniences. Those are
They
some
got it
weird
from the convenience
conveniences.
store.
They're
Mhm.
just. I used to call my YouTube channel that the convenience store. Oh
like,
man, it was just like, okay, let's get this giant chain. Um,
Mhm.
oh Minko, I forgot to go through the Wildlings village. Oh Minko, you said why Tillman said that earlier. How many people has to die for this pride? For his pride. Oh right.
he said,
Um,
Wilding Village?
John and Minko, you also said John need Dragon in her army, so now he know Danny will fight with him. He don't care. He don't care to bend the knee. Yeah. So before he said she was a stranger, but now that he knows her, I mean, he's willing to bend the knee, right? Um,
Mhm.
Minko, you said we saw that in the battle of the wall. Oh, Wildling Village. Wait. Oh, Wildling Village. Oh, we're talking about the chain, right? He's saying where they probably got the chain from. He said a wildling village, and we saw that.
Hmm.
But that long of a chain though.
I don't
I mean,
know.
I don't know. I mean, what were they planning on fighting? Like
Mhm.
Oh
with
yeah,
that
he did
giant
say the
chain.
Giants used them to open the gate.
The Giants used them
Yeah,
Yeah,
to.
back in that
Oh, did
battle.
they?
yeah.
I
Hmm.
can't. Well, maybe they did. I see. Those are things that those are gonna skip right past my head. That I'm gonna have
Well,
to
I
go
thought they
back and
used the
check.
mammoth.
Huh?
Hmm. I thought they used the mammoth.
I don't
Yeah, they
remember.
did use
I
a
really
mammoth.
that battle was just like,
Yeah, but I
okay,
believe
it's
it
here
wasn't
and
the
gone.
mammoth like pulling it or something.
Yeah, the
Yeah, I
mammoth
guess.
had some chains or
Yeah,
something.
yeah. Well, they did.
See, I wish that if there was a way to put that in this episode somewhere,
So were the
where they
White
got it
Walkers
from.
just like hoarding everything after
Yeah,
the
like
after the
here we got
battle?
food, we got water. Anybody need anything? Like we've taken so much from them already.
It's almost like they knew the dragon was gonna die. It's like, oh, bring the
Yeah.
chain.
Mhm.
But
Because
all right,
what
so
else would they need that for?
I mean, I don't know. That's it.
I
That's
got a
the only
theory
thing.
on the Night's King. I think the Night's King is Bran.
Yeah.
Bran?
Somebody said that before. I think was that you, Rock Lobster, that said that.
I did.
No, no, no,
No.
Rock Lobster. Didn't you say something about the?
Somebody had said that it would might have been the original Stark, like family,
Yeah,
like the first Stark.
The
Bran the
first
Builder.
Stark.
Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, I wish. That's why I'm really hoping after the show is over that they maybe do prequels, like they do Rhaegar, and everybody that they're talking about right now, and they talk about in the books. I want them to do prequels and show them to me on a TV screen so I can understand what the heck is going on. Like, where did this
Yeah.
guy come from? Who are the Forest Children? Magic exists. Okay, whatever. Um, all right. So basically, the White Walker put his hand on the dragon, and as how every TV show, or not, well, let's just not say every TV show, almost every movie likes to do, they like to do a close up of somebody's eye and then end it on them opening it. They did it in the Avatar. They did it in
Mhm.
Hunger Games Catching Fire. It's just like,
Mhm.
okay, can we stop doing that? We all know it's gonna. I mean, it was cool when they did it in the Avatar, but can we stop?
Wait,
Like
say again?
opening the eye, how a lot of, I don't know if it's Hollywood but basically they like to do it to where they close up on somebody's closed eye, and then they open it, and then they end it there.
Oh yeah.
Eyes open, end credits here. Like, okay, let's go over what we just did there. Like, I knew that they were gonna open the eyes, I guess, but it is, it's just something that is a little corny, I guess right now. I've just
Yeah,
seen it so
look,
many times.
yeah.
It's like opening the eyes, choo, soundtrack, end credits. That's it. Minko, you said, um, and exist in the same timeline. Wait. So if they had Night King in X3I Raven, maybe it can take it. If they said Night King is X3I Raven, maybe it can take it. Oh, wait. Are you talking about like? What do you mean?
He was like an old three-eyed raven, like the old three-eyed raven
I don't
before the
know.
last
I
three-eyed
thought it was
raven.
also rumored
Oh,
that
it said
Bran could
if they
take over the
said
dragon.
we said if they said the Night King is the three-eyed Raven, maybe I could take it because they exist on the same timeline. They could live throughout timelines at the same time.
What, the three-eyed
So
raven?
yeah, it's the X three-eyed Raven, so the one that died.
Oh, Right, the guy who's the. It's funny how I just
Mhm.
noticed they switched actors. Because we saw somebody completely different for Three-Eyed Raven, and now we got this guy. I was like, oh, okay, cool,
Yeah.
whatever. Good switch. Still cool.
Mhm.
But yeah, so I thought it was always also
Oh,
rumored.
okay.
I thought it was
He's talking
also
about the
rumored.
nice.
Huh?
He's talking about the Brand is the Night King. Yeah. Okay. I see how it is.
Brand is the
So
night.
Brand.
Oh.
So past Brand is coming to see future Brand. I think so.
Well,
It could
I don't
happen.
know.
I think.
I don't know. Like I said, time ellipsing, clipsing. Like every,
I was just
I'm waiting.
hoping
Go ahead.
Bran could warg into
That's
dragons.
what I, yeah,
That's
that's
what
what I
I
was
was
about to
hoping.
say. I thought the thing is
Yeah.
that maybe he could take over the dragon at some point. Like
Yeah.
since he's so powerful and whatever. I mean, I don't even know, what is he morphing into the trees now, or is it just the bird? Like, it's just what the heck is he doing?
Yeah.
Like touch the tree, going into the birds.
Yeah, well, he
I'm
could go into
all about it.
Hodar, so I'm thinking he should be able to go into just about
Hodar
anything.
is a completely different thing. We're not talking about a dragon here.
Well, I'm just
Hodar
saying,
seemed like he did not
that
have
was
a
before
brain.
he even became the Free-Eye Raven. Now he's a Free-Eye Raven, so I'm assuming he can do more
A lot
things.
more, yeah.
Yeah.
We'll see. I mean, right now, so far, he hasn't been doing nothing but sitting in that chair and telling people to send ravens, so giving people creepy
Yeah.
stares. Like, I'm waiting, like I said, I'm waiting for him to come back on Littlefinger. I'm waiting for it. That's what I'm waiting
Yeah,
for. I know
I'm
it's gonna
waiting for
happen.
Littlefinger too.
I know it's gonna happen. They're
Yeah.
just stalling with it, and it's just irritating. I'm just like, hurry up, hurry up. I know he's somebody.
Yeah.
Like, as soon,
Well,
every time
he
Littlefinger's
seems
plotting
almost
something.
like he's not human anymore. He's like a god, and he's just kind of observing what the people are doing. That's kind of what
Yeah,
it
but it seemed
seems
like, I
like he
think
is
the only
now.
god in this thing is whoever's bringing people back to life. That's pretty much the only god. Like, who's this
Yeah.
god that we got bringing people back to life? We don't know who he is. He just, you know, we don't even know what he wants. They discussed in this episode that they keep getting brought back to life and they don't know why. It's just like there's a purpose. It's just
They
like,
should
well, that
just let the
Right.
White
sucks.
Walkers eat him.
Yeah.
Cause
But
I'm
now,
just
what's his
like,
name lost
dude,
his priest, so he won't be able to
yeah,
come back
I'm just
now.
like, he's there, he knows what's going on, and yet he's still playing the game. And it's like, you realize that that doesn't matter anymore, but keep playing.
What, with the god bringing people back to life?
With him wanting to manipulate everybody, it's like, what's the point? You know, everybody's starting to see the real problem is with the White Walkers, and yet he's still, Littlefinger's still playing his game. It's stupid.
Oh. I mean, it's probably a thing. Also, we don't even know if Littlefinger still it believes in the White Walkers. Like, we don't know if he thinks it's
Yeah,
serious.
most people still don't. It's a pretty small group of people now that
Well, I
believe.
mean, Daenerys is now on board, but that's because she saw it for herself, and they're about to bring
Mm-mm.
proof back. So who knows? Like,
Yeah, I was just,
pretty
yeah, I was
sure.
thinking he's close to it. You would think he would have seen, but maybe not.
I mean, like I said, like, I don't think the White Walker will be enough to convince Cersei, but I think it'll convince Littlefinger.
Mm,
Like, the White Walker, Cersei's gonna look at it and be like, meh. Like, we can handle them. They look fragile.
yeah.
Crunch, crunch, crunch.
And the
I'll eat
dragon,
them for
is he
breakfast.
gonna? The dragon's gonna like blow ice now.
That's what I think he's gonna blow ice now, but who knows? They
Okay.
can surprise me. Blow both, maybe. That's kind of weird to
There
say.
was Martin wrote the Ice Dragon. There's like a book about it,
He said the
about
ice
ice
dragon,
dragons.
so it's gonna do ice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
So
mean,
there
it would
are
make
ice
sense if he did
dragons.
ice. I don't know why he would do fire. So I mean, because he's nowhere near the warmth anymore. The thing is, like, when that ice dragon goes into the, well, he's probably gonna bring some winter. So never mind. I was thinking, like, what if they go into a sunny state? Then they're screwed, aren't they? But then I just remembered that he brings winter. So that's, yeah, they're pretty much all screwed. Minko, you said, what if the Night King resurrection is like Bran Warg all those ravens? Mm, I mean, what about it? I mean, if it is like that, then I mean, isn't that good that Bran has all that power? Then I mean, it's just like I said, I'm waiting for Bran to do something. This either the next episode or the next season, which will not be coming out for another 2 years. And Minko, he said, if
Is that
you,
confirmed?
yeah, it's confirmed. People talked about it already.
Hmm.
Mika, you said if you take one off every white, he turn he turned down with him.
So if they take
Every
away that white, if they take away the White Walker, all the zombies will stop.
Yeah,
with
we know that. That's what people are already predicting. That's probably what's going to happen at this end. That's going to be the most predictable thing. Because
Mhm.
they showed that they should have kept that to themselves. Honestly, they should have just kept that to maybe towards like the last episode of Game of Thrones, where like maybe they kill one and then they realize, oh, we got to go after that one. Like I don't think they should have showed us that just yet. Because now, but at least now they know who they're aiming for. But I think that's what they were aiming for all along in the first place. So, the Night King.
Mhm.
So it's just, mm. But all right, that's all the pictures I have. So what were we talking about though? About the basically just I'm just hoping for more things to happen. So yeah, the next episode is not going to be for another not episode. Next season is not going to be for another till 2019. That's what I read. And I don't know if it's weather conditions. I mean, I gotta look up why. I remember looking at Comic Con and seeing. I thought they were talking about weather or something, wasn't it? Like, isn't that the reason why they had only 7 episodes to do this? I can't remember. And they were trying to be on time for the Emmys and all that stuff. It's just as I don't know. What do you guys think?
I don't know. I haven't heard exactly. I know last time they talked about because of weather, there were certain
It was
things,
weather,
but
right? Yeah, they had to, because we're dealing with a winter climate, and since we know we're actually losing winter at the moment, global warming and all, then
mhm.
it's just, I guess it makes sense. I mean, like even with that movie with Leonardo DiCaprio, the what's it called?
Titanic.
No, no. My God, we're not gonna go that far. Like the Titanic. No, I recently saw that movie, but thank you. No, it was the other one where there was a lot of snow and everything.
Is the live over?
Huh? No, well, the lab's not over yet. But I'm about to end it. But thank you
No, I
guys.
just seen the thanks you for
Oh, go
watching. I
ahead.
didn't know if it was over.
All right. Well, yeah. But thank you guys so much for watching. We're gonna be we're gonna be doing another one next week for the next episode. Which will be the last episode of the season, actually. And it's gonna be sad because we probably have to wait 2 years. I mean, I don't know if it's confirmed. That's what I read, at least. If it's confirmed for the next 2 years. I mean, it won't be coming back for the next 2 years. But I'll be looking that up. Um, but I don't know. What do you guys? Any last episodes? Any last thoughts, you guys?
Somebody has to die this next episode, or else I wanna I wanna join the Night's Watch.
And no, if I say, what I used to say, what I said before was that I wanted the White Walkers to win if any more people die. It was just
Oh
like, never
man,
mind, forget it. White Walkers need to take everything. But all
I
right,
think we're
guys.
getting
Yeah,
close
go ahead.
to Daenerys revealing, that Jon Snow's her family. I think that's coming.
Yeah, I think
definitely,
that's coming
yeah.
too. I mean, Bran, like I said, hasn't done much this season. So, besides come back and make everybody happy for a slight moment and whatever. But all right. So
Yeah. I hope they bring Bran with them when they go to Cersei.
he's not going anywhere. Like I said, he hasn't done anything this season. But all right. But yeah, I gotta end it here. So thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys next week. Everybody say bye.
See you later, man.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you guys,
But
Ominko, Phenomenal Nerds, for joining. Thank you guys so much. Oh, and go watch the trailer for next episode because I want to know what everybody thinks. Oh man, that trailer is still a bombshell.